All right, y'all. So let's take a look at this, and then I'll be back later to continue going through the police activity logs. But let's go through this press release. Released for immediate release, December 10, 2022, Moscow Police Department Communications Team. Moscow Homicide Update. The Moscow Police Department is providing the following information to update the public on the known facts surrounding the 4 murders that occurred on November 13th in Moscow, Idaho. With commencement this weekend, there will be an influx. Let me turn it this way. I don't know how that's going to be for you guys. You know what? Let me just leave it this way. Okay, so there will be an influx of people coming in from out of town. Moscow Police Department and Idaho State Police will provide coverage on campus and in the Moscow area. As always, we want to remind the public to stay vigilant, travel in groups, and communicate with family and friends as you travel. If you have any information regarding the case, please email the tip line at ci.moscow.id.us or call us at 208-883-7180. We want to thank the public for their continued support. The investigation continues with the same amount of resources. Moscow Police Department, 6 detectives, 5 support staff, communications team, Federal Bureau of Investigation, aka FBI, 46 investigators in Moscow and located throughout the United States, 2 behavior analysts, unit investigators, Idaho State Police, 13 investigators in Moscow, 15 uniformed troopers assisting with community patrols, ISP Forensic Services. Watch an interview with the Moscow Police Chief, James Fry, released Friday, regarding police presence, a continued investigation resources dedicated to the case. The video is available for media and public use on the Moscow Police YouTube channel. All right, let's move on. As previously reported, the 2013 Hyundai Elantra investigators would like to thank the community and public for recent information provided about the vehicle and the spike in tips. The FBI is prioritizing and vetting those tips for use in the investigation. The public is asked to continue to use the tip line to report any information about the vehicle. Calling in tips, please be aware that this new call process takes patience on behalf of the caller, and there are some prompts to follow. This is a national FBI tip line, and it is important to get all the way through the prompts to reach the right agent to report information. Remember, your tip may be the key to solving the case. Detectives remain interested in speaking with the occupants of a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra with an unknown license plate. Tips and leads have led investigators to look for additional information about this vehicle being in the immediate area of the King Road residence during the morning hours of November 13th. Investigators believe the occupant or occupants of this vehicle may have critical information to share regarding this case. If you know of or own a vehicle matching this description or know anybody who may have been driving this vehicle on the days preceding or the day of the murders, please forward that information to the tip line. And then you see the tip line there. All that information is there. Okay. Okay. The only one that we didn't read over earlier was the digital media one here, fbi.gov/Moscow, Idaho. The below photos are stock images of a 2011 through 2013 Hyundai Elantra and are not the actual vehicle. At this time, no suspect has been identified, and only vetted information that does not hinder the investigation will be released to the public. We encourage referencing official releases for accurate information and updated progress. All press releases and information related to this case are available at ci.moscow.id. Okay, you can read that yourselves. Okay, then you can see the cars there, the 2011 through the 2013. That's page 2. All right, we have 3 more pages. All right, let's continue. Oh, my neck. Let me sit up. All right. On the evening of November 12th, Kaylee Goncalves and Madison Mogan were at a local bar called Corner Club at 202 North Main Street in downtown Moscow between 10 p.m. and 1:30 a.m. on November 13th. At approximately 1:40 a.m., Kaylee and Madison were seen on video at a local food vendor called the Grub Truck at 318 South Main Street and used a private party for a ride home from downtown to arrive at their 1122 King Road residence around 1:56 a.m. Investigators have determined that Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were seen at the Sigma Chi house on the University of Idaho campus at 735 Nez Perce Drive. At approximately 1:45 a.m., Ethan and Xana are believed to have returned to the residence at 1122 King Road. 1:45 a.m. Okay. It was previously reported that Ethan resided at the home. However, it has been determined that he was only visiting. Detectives believe that on November 12th, the 2 surviving roommates had also been out in the Moscow community separately but returned home by 1 a.m. on November 13th. The 2 did not wake up until later that morning. So it looks as though they are speaking of Dylan and Bethany, the 2 young ladies that survived that were residing on the lower level of that home. All right, so on November 13th, the surviving roommates summoned friends to the residence because they believed one of the second floor victims had passed out and was not waking up at 11:58 a.m. A 911 call requested aid for an unconscious person. The call was made from one of the surviving roommates' cell phones inside the residence. Multiple people talked with 911 dispatcher before Moscow police arrived at the location. Officers entered the residence and found 2 victims on the floor. Two victims on the second floor and 2 victims on the third floor. Autopsies were conducted on November 17th. The Lata County coroner confirmed the identity of the 4 murdered individuals and their cause and manner of death as homicide by stabbing. The coroner stated the 4 victims were likely asleep. Some had defensive wounds, and each was stabbed multiple times. There was no sign of sexual assault. Detectives continue investigating what occurred from approximately 9 p.m. on November 12th to 1:45 a.m. on November 13th when Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were believed to be at the Sigma Chi house on the University of Idaho campus at 735 Nez Perce Drive. Any interactions, contacts, direct and method of travel, or anything abnormal could add context to what occurred. Detectives are seeking all outside surveillance video taking from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. on Sunday, November 13th, from businesses and residences within the geographical area listed below. Detectives request all available videos, whether there appears to be motion and content or not. West Taylor Ave, north boundary, West Palouse River Drive, south boundary, Highway 95 to the 2700 block of Highway 95 south, east boundary, Arbor Return and Botanical Garden, west boundary. I'll tell you what's interesting. Let me see how many minutes I have left because I'm going to have to do part 2. I only have 30 seconds. What's interesting is that in one of the readings I did, there was a botanical garden, a garden that popped up in the card. So that's extremely interesting to me. I'm wondering what, if anything, might be over that way within the case as far as what do you call that? Clues or evidence and what have you. All right, so I'll be right back. This was page 3. We have 2.5 pages left, so I'll be back with the part 2 of this.